Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Alaka here for EPCreativeMedia, and I'm back with a brand new video, and I am back with recording my game once again. I am so excited. I'll give you more details later in the video, but first, before we proceed, I bring you the verse for the day, which is from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33, and it reads, "Be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners." And I'm actually going to give you the NIV version for those who don't fully understand what this means, and then we're going to look into it a little bit more. The NIV version reads, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." And so what does that actually mean for those who do not understand? I think for the most part, a lot of people understand this particular verse, and some actually just think it's just a quote when it's actually a Bible verse. What it means, as opposed to what society just perceive it to be, which is if you hang around bad people, you end up adapting bad habits from said so-called bad company, correct? But it is actually a lot more than that. It is not just the company that you keep, because just like anything else, for instance, if there's an illness and it's a contagious illness, if you are around people with said illness, you are likely to catch that same illness. And so when you do hang around with certain individuals who have certain behaviors and mannerisms, you are likely to pick up on said behaviors and mannerisms, including when you are close with people, you will find yourself having to speak in a very similar tone and have a similar stance about the way you do things, the way you say things, because you are closely knitted with them, correct? And so the same thing applies with everything else that you decide to embrace, everything else that you decide to engage in. So for instance, as a Christian, for myself as a born-again Christian, I do try to stay away from people who are constantly swearing. I try to stay away from people who always have vulgar conversations. And this is no judgment. It's just that I am no longer in that space in my life anymore. And so I want to reflect more of Jesus in my life and less of the world. And so in order for that to happen, I do have to be intentional in wanting to get closer to God. And God is not in alignment with the way of the world, correct? And the way of the world is portraying things that are wrong as right and vice versa. And so if I intentionally decide that I want to always hang out with people who are constantly using vulgar language, using God's name in vain, having immoral ways of just living their life, which again is no judgment, it's just that that's not who I am anymore. And if I want to get closer to God, I can't be around such company. I cannot indulge in content that is of that nature, so to speak. And so when we talk about bad company corrupting good character or good morals, it is about your moral compass, but not the world's idea of a moral compass, but more in alignment with what God's standard of goodness is. Not just morality, but goodness, because goodness is just. Morality, on the other hand, is based upon societal's needs for what they deem to be acceptable and unacceptable. So in some places, some things that some people might consider moral, other countries will consider immoral. And so that is not in alignment with God's standard of goodness and God's justification of what good actually is. And therefore, when scripture talks about do not be misled, that is literally what it means. Don't look at everything that society tells you is good and deem it to be good unless scripture says it. If scripture does not say it, and scripture has actually said this is actually not good for you, then what society is in fact telling you is something that is misleading. Okay. And so when I decide to, even as a gamer, there are certain games that you're going to never find me playing on my platform. I will never find myself playing horror games, for the simple reason that horror attracts spiritual things into your life that you will not always see the results of immediately, but you will see the consequences eventually. And scripture explicitly speaks about this. This is in the book of Isaiah, if I recall. It actually explicitly talks about divination, necromancy, all these things, and you wonder why you have certain issues that are not explainable within your life. Not to say that Christians don't go through things, we do, but the difference is we have the protection of God, where we can find ourselves in dire situations, but we have a certain level of protection that non-believers unfortunately do not have. Therefore, how we navigate our lives, especially the fact that we have this knowledge as Christians, we do have to be intentional in who we decide we want to keep company, in what we decide we want to engage in, the type of music that we want to listen to. If you are prone to always leaning into lyrics that talk about violence all the time, lyrics that are always talking about sexualization, sexualizing women and men, etc., you are going to start developing a desire for those things, right? And same goes for horror movies and violent movies and sexually immoral movies. You will start to lean towards those things. Why? Because you become desensitized to them. And the more you become desensitized to those things, the more they will appear normal to you, when in fact scripture actually speaks against all of those things. And so if you are wanting to grow in your faith in Christ, you cannot keep entertaining things that actually go against scripture. You have to be intentional. Even if the Holy Spirit renews your mind and helps you grow, when the Holy Spirit convicts you about something, and by conviction sometimes it might be something that will make you feel maybe slightly guilty, or you feel uncomfortable, or even someone from the outside might mention something that will make you feel a bit like, oh, that kind of hit me. Why did I feel almost judged by them saying anything, even if I know that they're not really saying it directly to me? It's the Holy Spirit convicting you and God trying to help you grow so that you can be able to lean more to hear his voice and lean less into the voice of the world. And so that is the bad company that corrupts good character. It's not just about individuals that you hang around with, but it's about the things that you decide you want to listen to, the things that you decide you want to watch, the types of lifestyles that you want to continue engaging in. So the more you engage in a certain lifestyle that's not in alignment with scripture, the less of sensitivity you will have towards the Holy Spirit, and the less of God's voice you'll be able to hear whenever he's trying to speak to you, and the more of the world things that are actually going to be an influence in your life. And so that is the verse for the day. And so now we are going to get on with the video. Welcome to a Sims 4 build like no other, a luxury estate that almost never made it to the gallery. But by the grace of God, she is finally here. This is not just a mansion, it is a full experience designed for gameplay, storytelling, and straight up Sims flexing. We begin outside with a surrounding landscape featuring a maze, basketball court, and a sunken jacuzzi tucked between a peaceful fish pond, hot springs, and wishing well. Your Sims can enjoy an evening movie in the outdoor cinema, unwind under the stars on the bridgeside telescope, enjoy a barbecue or outdoor party, toast marshmallows by the fire pit, and relax in the heated pool. There is also a separate 2-story pool house perfect for guests or gameplay storylines. And if that was not enough, there is a camping spot and children's play area with monkey bars and a tree house. Yes, absolutely everything. Stepping right inside through the grand foyer, edged by a cloakroom and visitor's toilet, ideal for when you host dinner parties or formal gatherings. The ground floor features an elegant office, cozy study, and a classic library that hides a secret. Shh. Entertainment is king here, with a music/creator room where you can play a variety of instruments, make music, or record your content. And right next door, we have an elegant cinema room that is fully air-conditioned, domed in black with gold accents, a globe minibar, popcorn machine, and ice cream maker, or whilst enjoying your favorite films on the large screen with Dolby surround sound. Going through the music creator room, we have a kitchen that flows into a casual TV nook, has a diner-style island breakfast nook, and a calming fireplace with rocking chairs for that much-needed rest. Going past the TV nook, there is a separate formal dining room that sits 14, with a bar for those special dinner occasions. And right next door, we have the warm chocolate color scheme drawing room for that nightcap and calm piano playing, or simply lounging, watching television by the fireplace. The perfect room for you to unwrap those Christmas gifts. Yes, this home was built for Sims who live large. The first floor, this floor is all about comfort and style. There is an art and pet sanctuary designed to give your pet baby that much needed space and luxury. And an art section for painting, crocheting, and spending quality time with your fur buddy. A suite custom designed for baby to child stages with a unique design to give that storybook atmosphere. A spacious teen bedroom with its own walk-in wardrobe and jewelry making table. Across, we have a beautifully floral pattern decorated spare room with ensuite bathroom and walk-in wardrobe. The master bedroom is the crown jewel of this home, with its own opulent touches, including a 4-poster bed, his and hers ensuite bathroom, fireplace, large walk-in wardrobe, and sitting area. Let us not forget about the green room, as I like to call it. Perfect for relaxing or morning devotions, surrounded by green plant decor, a fitted fish tank, the child aka Baby Yoda, and some lovely gnomes to keep you company, with a balcony overseeing the amazing views. This is not just a mansion. It is a Sims sanctuary. Making our way underground, literally, the basement level is where all the fun truly begins. We have got a full indoor swimming pool with glass walls that sees through to the outdoor swimming pool. Sitting areas on each side of the pool and a jacuzzi right bang in the middle of the sitting areas. Going through the pool area, we have a fully kitted spa with exercise mats, meditation area, massage beds, mani-pedi stations, and sauna rooms for that much needed detox. The spa comes with toilets and showers, ideal so you do not have to walk all the way upstairs to use the bathroom. Navigating through the pool area, we have a bar and entertainment lounge designed with elegance in red and green. This bar gives you high-end wine bar, all in the comfort of your own home. Next to the bar, we have an extravagant games room that comprises of arcade games, kegs, a dance floor with DJ booth, console gaming, chess tables, karaoke, darts, foosball, VR gaming, and loads of other table games, as well as vending machines. All you ever need to stay entertained, you can find it all right here. If the games room was not enough, right next door is a sleek bowling alley with elegant seating areas and bubble machines, as well as a vending machine decorated in black with gold accents. And as you exit the bowling alley, we have an indoor-outdoor area with a pet training section, a children's playpen, water splash slip and slide, a bee box, a mega chess set, and even a full roller and ice skating rink. Yes, that's right. The indoor-outdoor area also gives you access to your very own home gym, designed in the style of a professional gym, and comes with a climbing machine, treadmill, punching bags, wind chun dummies, and its very own showers and toilets. For those who love their realism, of course, we cannot forget about the much needed laundry room, especially for a mansion as large as this one. It comes with 4 washers and 4 dryers to fulfill all the laundry needs of all the household members. And of course, where there is a grand mansion, there is a grand car park. And in this case, we have an underground garage with a turntable and a storeroom right next to it with a wine cellar. It really is the little things that matter. And finally, tucked neatly in the lower basement is the beautifully designed staff quarters with 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, fully equipped with an open plan kitchen with dining area and separate living room. Whether you are telling stories, running households, or building your own sim dynasty, this mansion has everything you need. It is now available in the gallery. All you have to do is search for EPCreativeMedia as my gallery ID and look for Exquisite Family Mansion. This build has no mods or custom content, so console players, you can access the build as well. All you have to do for all players is to activate cheats, testing cheats true, and use bb.moveObjects as well as bb.showLiveEditObjects and bb.showHiddenObjects before placing the builds. Now we are going to head into live mode to see the build functionality. All right, everybody, now that we have managed to actually finally get the grand tour of this exquisite family mansion, that was honestly, this was a passion project for me. And so I decided that I was going to give you guys a brief tour and then a more in-depth tour, which is basically this one in live mode, or live mode should I say, where I will get to kind of like talk through a few things. But also, in addition to that, I just want to take the opportunity to be able to kind of show you some parts which were kind of difficult to record using tab mode, because obviously you kind of have to record almost machinima style. So one of the areas that I didn't get a chance to fully show you guys is actually the pool house. Obviously you saw the outside of it, but you never had the opportunity to actually see the inside. So I'm gonna get my sim to walk in so you can have a tour. Obviously I can do it even without her, to be, if truth be told, but it's always nice to have a sim kind of interacting with objects and stuff like that. Why is this thing not working all of a sudden? Literally when I was recording for the last 30 minutes or so, everything was moving really smoothly, and now I decide to do this and everything seems to be coming to a standstill for some bizarre reason. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and maybe save and see what happens. Okay, so we've managed to press save on the game. Hopefully that will speed it up, because sometimes that actually does speed up the game. As you can see, she's literally just jumped right in and almost like she teleported. But anyways, let's see. Okay, so as you can see, let me quickly actually briefly go into tab mode. You can have a look. It's literally got a cute little kitchen and a bar area. It's all functional. I've actually play tested this before, where I have been able to see if my sim can actually be able to kind of sit on the chairs there, and she has been able to sit on the chairs. So if you decide that you want your sim to have a party only in this section of the house, all your guests can actually come and enjoy themselves in this part of the property. And when you go further into the ground floor of the pool house, we do have, I'm going to put all the walls up so you can see properly. She actually has, you know, we've got one of those TVs. This is the TV that we actually got from the rewards. One of the rewards, it kind of came with rewards. So I kind of like the idea of that, because of the simple fact that obviously it looks like a picture, which adds to the decor, but then they can turn it on and make it a television. I really love this feature. And we've got a fireplace as well with some wood there, with a mirror up there. I made sure this kind of like had the whole brown, you know, kind of like a very brown warm feel. I really wanted to maintain that about this particular cottage. You could call it cottage, right? You could call it a cottage, you could call it a pool house. And then also I kind of went with the same theme when it came to the bathroom. As you can see, it's kind of like gold and browns. It has a his and hers sink, but it's got a jacuzzi bathtub. There's no his and hers for that. And one toilet. So one bathtub, one toilet, one shower. That's kind of how I made it. Let me put the walls down again so you can be able to see those items properly. So the shower's over there, two sinks, and we've got the jacuzzi tub there, and the toilet obviously is over on this side. And I kind of obviously made sure everything kind of like matched. Thankfully, I was able to find like flooring, wall tiles and everything that actually matched the entire aesthetic. So that was actually very fortunate when I was able to do that. I was also able to add almost like a mini library, you know, bookshelves at the back there, and then a quote rack on the side there. If you're listening to that Can you hear that? So what I actually did was wait a minute. Is that the birds? Because I know that I put wind chimes. Hang on. There. Because that can't be the birds that are actually making. So I put wind chimes, and they do make really lovely lovely sounds, not noises, lovely sounds. And I've got a wind chime, I think, there, and I'll also put a wind chime at the front of the main house as well. And when we go upstairs, it's completely covered, by the way. I wanted it to be fully covered so that there's some kind of a privacy as well, because the glass all here, it makes it very, very open, which is great because it brings in the sunlight, but it doesn't provide privacy. And I didn't want to kind of fill the front up with curtains because I felt like that was going to look ugly, and I didn't want that. And I wanted to kind of stick to the whole greenery brown feel, and I think adding big curtains would have kind of messed that up, because these ones that I added here worked out better. These are actually, they look like curtains, that's why I use them as curtains, but they actually are found in the decoration section for is it wall statues, which is kind of bizarre. Wall decorations. So yeah, I was able to put another one of those televisions up here. Obviously I upsized it, as you can clearly see, and I like the fact that I was able to put like a TV area, and I was able to also put like a lounging area, if that makes sense. So it's almost as though they've got a living room downstairs, but upstairs as well they've kind of got a chill area. So if you've got more than one person who is actually living here, especially when if you've got the is it not the Parenthood? I can't remember the name of the pack, but you know the pack where people can come over because they're having a hard time, blah, 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 and then they bring their entire family. This is where you can just stuff them and, make sure they don't come to the rest of the house, and they can just spend all their time here. And if it's more than one of them, well, you can just add like a couple of, I don't know, sofa beds for them, but they will be able to share the television. There's one upstairs, there's one downstairs, and there's lounging areas upstairs and downstairs, which is perfect for people who are kind of like in a crowded space. And so I'm just gonna quickly go to my sim. She's so uncomfortable. So I have got Kawaii Stacy's Slice of Life installed, which basically gives my sim the time of month. So I'm going to just go ahead and make sure that she changes into a tampon, and then we're going to, does she need medication as well? I think she's fine for cramps. Yeah, I think she's fine for cramps. So it's literally just that she needs. So I need to just get rid of that, because that sound effect, the uncomfortable sound effect, actually gets on my last nerve. Anyways, right back up to the top so that we can continue the tour. It's 10 p.m. at night, sim time, so hopefully she will go to bed soon, or I'll make her go to bed, and then we can fast forward where we can see more daylight, if that makes sense. But with that said, whilst we're actually still on the nighttime, I do like the fact that the lighting, like I think I mentioned this in my previous video where I'm showcasing my build, but obviously this is where you get to see the build fully in motion, which makes me so happy. And by the way, thank you so much everybody for 200 subscribers. I am so ever so grateful, and what better timing than when I'm actually able to record my game once again. I'm not sure to what extent I'm able to record my game, because this is actually not my brand new computer. This is my old new computer. I literally just purchased a new PSU. That was literally the issue. And I've been able to kind of get back to recording in-game again, which I'm so happy for. With that said, I'm still saving up for my super duper like brand new computer that's going to have way higher specs than this one. And so in the meantime, at least I can still be able to do all of this. I'm literally playing on Ultra, and I've got custom content and I've got mods in this, and I'm still able to play decently well with, not too much lag. There is lag, but it's honestly not bad as far as I'm concerned, So anyways, I love the fact that I was able to utilize, honestly, the whole point of buying all the packs is to be able to use all of them, right? As much as you possibly can. And that's pretty much what I did with this build. I used almost every single, there's an item I think from almost every single pack. When I tried to disable packs, certain packs that appeared as though I did not use them in this particular build, the game told me that I was missing certain packs, so I had to basically enable every single pack that I have. Right now there's still like I think 10 kits that I still haven't purchased, which is ridiculous, by the way. I haven't purchased yet, and there are 2 packs. I haven't purchased the favorites pack, and I have not purchased the life and death pack as well. So those are the only ones that I'm missing. Otherwise I literally have every single other pack that came before those ones, and in between, because I've got hobbies. But I really wanted to create like a section for the kids, because this is, as much as it's a family mansion, it's a mansion and it's extravagant, I wanted to make sure that I infused a home vibe about it, even with the exquisiteness of it all. And so this camping section I absolutely loved being able to put together. As you can see, I literally put like the camping beds in there. They can easily be removed, or you can do whatever you want with them, but I like the idea. You can literally, if you've got kids, you can get them to camp outside, they can play around outside, they can sit here and watch a film, which obviously can be done with adults, whatever age can actually do this. We've got the tree house, and I don't know if many people are aware of this, there's like some lights that come separately. You can actually place them and they fit perfectly around this tree house, and adults can actually sleep in the enclosure as well. And so this is like a fun little section for the kids. I put the swing set, I put the monkey bars, and I also put a slide. This is obviously for the, if I'm not mistaken, this is for the toddlers, because the children cannot do the slide, but the toddlers can. These animation errors are ridiculous. Every time she goes to the plant, this happens. It's actually quite wild. Anyways, and then obviously we've got the marbles here. They can go ahead and play marbles. We've got the hopscotch. You see, watch marbles. No Sims are currently playing, so and then we've got the hopscotch as well, so she can actually, I've never had her practice. Go ahead, stop trying. She's about to go into the teenage bedroom to try and perform a solo. She's ridiculous. Is she gonna go at no? And then we've got the kiddie pool as well, so when the adults are swimming and having fun, the kids can actually be able to have their fair share of fun as well. And then, as you can see, I've actually got the wishing well here, and this, everything completely functional. The sunken jacuzzi, as well as the, I know it's so bizarre, it's like, wow, you literally had to have everything. Yes, if I could place it in, I wanted to have it in. That was my thinking. And so yes, we've got the hot springs and a jacuzzi, as well as a beautiful pond. This pond is from Get Famous, and so you can actually, I put the koi fish in here, but you can actually change and put sharks, or you can put piranhas, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I also made the effort to add items that came with, like, you've got the water features and stuff like that. So I added the log, and I think I added the sprites inside at the back, but you can't add them too close to the edge, because then your sim can't stand on here to do all these things, remove koi, add natural cleaner, admire them, feed them, or jump in and play. You can't do any of those things if you place any items too close to the edge. So the way I did it is I made sure that even when I added the lilies and stuff like that, I just wanted to add more animal features around that can interact. So I did add fish, additional fish and stuff like that you can see at the back, because otherwise it would have just been the koi fish and nothing else. So I wanted it to be more interesting. And when I added the lilies, I made sure that I activated them so that the frogs can jump on. I activated the log so the turtle comes on. And you can actually activate this as well to make sure, where is that part? There is a section you can activate to make sure like a slug or a snail kind of comes on. And I kind of added extra stones, as well as the other stones that came with one of the kits that actually have a fountain feature, just so it can look more like a waterfall as opposed to it being very simplistic, if that makes sense. So I've kind of played around with that. And then this water feature, I just thought it was ideal again for the kids, because this is all like a fun area where, especially in those hot summers, it's a perfect place. And also if you decide you want to hold a beautiful cute little pool party for the kids, this is kind of ideal. And when you go up a little bit here, one of my favorite features, which is adding obviously the bridge, across water feature. I placed the bridge and I made sure I wanted to have like lots of flowers around it, but I also made sure that I had the telescope on there. I'm surprised my sim hasn't actually come to try and use the telescope, but I do. Oh, she's practicing. Oh my gosh. I've actually not used this. This is the first time. Oh, this is so cute. I love this. That is hilarious. What skill? Wait, it's fitness skill? Well, isn't that something? It's her yibs. What's her fitness? She's on fitness level 4. Okay. I did not know that the hopscotch chain actually increased your fitness score. Well, you learn something new every day, don't you? And then, of course, my grand swimming pool. I absolutely enjoyed making the swimming pool because I think if I recall, this was around the time. The reason why I wanted to make this shape is because maybe a month or so before this, they had just introduced us being able to make curved swimming pools. Hence, me going all out to make it semi-hard and just trying to create something that is kind of different. And so this is the result that I came up with. And then if you go to the back here, as you can see, I wanted to create like a sunken, relaxing party area, and I really wanted these fires to show through. So there are torches that come with Get Famous. I basically sunk them down, and then I found this as a debug item, if I remember. I placed it because I wanted them to actually be hidden, and then I just wanted the flames to kind of show up. And what I did was, with the 2 bars that I put, and then I put the grills on each side, I ended up using the tool mod. I was able to kind of slide the mirrors on each side perfectly, because if you look on this side, they've actually got mirrors. The bars have actually got mirrors, so I wanted, oh, went way too far. Wait, what the heck? Okay, let's go down. Let's go down. Okay, thank you. That was bizarre. I wanted it to have the mirrors that are similar to the front of each side of the bars, right? These are kind of like, these are the back bars, not really the bar, but the back bars. And so I kind of wanted to create something similar on the other side as well, but also I wanted it to be able to reflect the flames as well. So that's kind of the idea, the design idea that I had in mind. And then also, obviously, I really wanted a fire pit. I love a fire pit. Let me check her knees, because yeah, I wanted a fire pit. And so I was like, okay, where am I going to place a fire pit? Because obviously when I looked at the grass that side, everywhere was occupied, and also it kind of didn't suit the aesthetic entirely. It would have suited it maybe had the what is this, the swimming pool not been here. Maybe I would have been able to put the fire pit maybe somewhere near there. But let me stop her, because is it like one of those that goes non-stop and she can't stop it, hence her getting hungry and all that stuff. And so I figured that actually this place is the perfect place, because you've got the people, the sun loungers over here for the swimming pool, and then you've got this area, which is technically the barbecue area with the bar for people to have drinks. But also I put some a radio here so people can actually do some dancing. I even put a mini fridge. So when you look, obviously my biggest concern was when it came to putting the speaker and the lights and stuff like that is when it rains, right? So I made sure that I covered it up with a balcony area. And we're going to look at the balcony area when we go to the first floor. But I decided to put like a balcony, which created a roof, which automatically protects the mini fridge and also protects anything that's electrical that's within this area, which is absolutely perfect. Otherwise, everywhere else, there's nothing electrical that will get damaged by the rain. I do have drink trays, which are really ideal, because then, you know, they can restock the tray and have some drinks. And I think this wine, is this wine? Okay, this you can just view it. But I think there's other wine that you can bring that the Sims can actually be able to drink. And like I said, I wanted the fire pit, which they can tell camp stories and things like that, light it up and sit down and just have tons and tons of fun. Now, what I do is I think I'm going to take you guys downstairs first instead of upstairs. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, let's go downstairs. And so if you look here, let me, you know what, let me take you to the very front, because again, because of the way the tour took place, you didn't see everything. I actually put the mailbox right here. I squeezed it in and it is functional. Sims can actually access it, which is absolutely great. Oh my gosh, she needs to pay her bills. Hang on, 26 grand. Okay, household. Bills. Pay bills. Actually, can we make her, shall we make her do the lottery as well while she's at it, since she's gonna get miserable if she doesn't do it? Pay bills. And where's the lottery? Is it fun? No, Cupid's Corner. No. It's not under shopping, is it? Surely not. Oh, it is. Where are they? Okay, so when you enter, I decided, because the game does not, here we go again with this stupid animation errors. The game actually does not come with massive, like a proper gate that is of the size of the fences, if that makes sense. Like a large gate I'm talking about. Obviously the horse ranch has got wide gate, however they are not the same height as the fences. And also there's a type of design, obviously I was looking for matching design of gate to fence, right? And Get to Work had the fence that I was kind of looking for, because of the simple fact that I wanted it to look elegant. And so I decided, okay, let me make them 2 gates, whereas it can be like one of those properties where there's an entryway and, you know, an exit. And that's kind of the idea that I went for here. And I think I used from one of the stuff packs that comes with like loads of florals. I think it was the garden one, if I'm not mistaken. And it was able to provide me, let me see if I could, let me do this, because I feel like because of this it keeps jumping me to go up. Am I upstairs again? See, what is this? Thank you. What are we doing? So here you can see I kind of had to do a lot of like tweaking. And one of them was to place this fountain, because I wanted to look like the fountain is kind of falling there. I added extra bushes there, and I added a lot of water features just to give it that garden. And I think this statue, if I'm not mistaken, is from the Vampires pack, if I'm not mistaken. But I did want to kind of like a statue to just kind of add to it, which I think is absolutely great. And again, I made sure everything was black to kind of match the aesthetic of the gate, which in my opinion ended up coming out really, really well. And then here I actually placed stairs here, not necessarily because I wanted the Sims to climb on them, but because it made for a good decorative feature because of the way I designed everything. And again, I added like mini ponds on the side, added extra flowers with the little elephants. I think I sized these down, if I'm not mistaken. And I put this sign here. This sign is basically saying do not walk on the grass, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I was aiming for. And as you can hear, the wind chimes are going off again. I'm going to close that so you can see. So that's kind of like the entryway. Obviously shall we go? We're about to go downstairs, but I didn't go all the way around, right? Okay, so what else I added was the section where you can park bicycles. And if you go through debug, you can actually find a whole bunch of amazing things, including these racks that you can place your bicycles on. So what I did was I added like the children's bike, and then a couple of adult and teen bikes, and then just some stuff where the gardener comes when, you know, the gardener is doing the work. And obviously whenever there's a fire, this is where the fire brigade can kind of come and connect and, you know, hopefully shut down the fire, so to speak. And then I actually love these. I can't remember if these are in debug or they're just there anyways when you look in the plant section, you know, in the like outdoor plant section. So I just decided to add them because I love the way they look. And this initially it looked a little bit too plain for me and I didn't like that. And so I thought, okay, because it has kind of like roses in it, or did I add them? They do have roses in them. I thought they match perfectly with the outside. And then by the maze, which I absolutely love. Oh my gosh, the day I decided that I would love to create my own maze to add to the game, I was just so excited. And so a lot of time and effort, I actually had to draw the maze physically on pen and paper so that I can have an idea exactly where the exit and the turns, etc. are. And I really wanted to give it that nice nature vibe. Why again? Because she's gonna keep irritating. You're busy doing pom-poms and all that stuff when you can be sorting yourself out, mate. Seriously, here, let's sort you out. Let's sort you out now, right now. I could have sworn that I just sorted her out not long ago, so it's flipping egg, mate. And does she need pain medication? Okay, she's fine for that still. Okay. Hopefully that should help her. because she's gonna get my nerves. Okay, so let's go back down. Where were we? Okay, the maze, right? Yes. So in regards to the maze, with the maze, like I said, I wanted to have that natural vibe, nature vibe. So I made sure that I put like a bird bath. And also you can actually add bird seed here, and when you do add bird seed, the birds do come and actually eat the seed, which is such an amazing feature. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this comes with seasons. If I'm not mistaken, it comes with seasons. If not, it might be available in base game, but don't quote me on that, but I think it comes with seasons. And then also the tree stumps that come with cottage living, I wanted to add them there because they do bring out more birds, which is absolutely perfect when you put it right beside the maze. But also, in addition to that, I actually put a couple of rabbits, because when you have debug enabled, you can actually access all kinds of animals and features that you can only get when you like reach a certain thing or activate a certain item here and there. So I actually added rabbits, but also not only did I add rabbits, I actually added additional rabbit stumps. So more rabbits actually appear around the yard, as you can evidently see right now. We've got like 2 rabbits there, and I think there's there you go, and they're all different color, and I absolutely love that. And one of the things I think I mentioned this in my previous video where I'm showcasing my builds using the slideshows, is I really doesn't need any service today. Really, our cleaners are really not doing their jobs, but I really, oh, there she goes, she's coming to put, why is she saying dirty surrounding? You did not clean. She's saying the place is dirty. You said this is all that, there's nothing else for you to do. Clearly you didn't do your job. Anyways, so I wanted these green lanterns because I didn't want to veer off the color scheme that the whole maze kind of provides. And I used all the statue animal that are already pre-shaped in the game to kind of add them around. So we've got a chicken, we've got the elephants, we've got llamas, we've got rabbits, we've got cats, we've got dogs, literally poodles and stuff like that. So, and I absolutely love that. And you can see, as you can see, the rabbits, it's like they're loving it. Absolutely loving it. And here, if you can see the steam. This is actually coming from the basement area, and initially I was concerned about it, but when I thought about it some more, I said actually it kind of adds atmosphere to this section. This is basically because I did a lot of manipulation when I was creating what I was creating downstairs, so this is the result of it. But it's actually something that turned out as an added feature that I did not expect. Emmett, what do you want? Hey Charlie, I think Suzanne Dockery is pretty cute. Sure, whatever, go for it. None of my business. Anyways, this is one of the rabbit stumps that I mentioned earlier. So the rabbits kind of come up from there. But also, I also made sure within the maze, by the way, I added bonsai trees. So there's quite a few all around. And this gives your Sims a chance to just come out. And sometimes they'll do it autonomously, or you can kind of make them come and do it, depending on, so you can change the pot color, but also you can trim the overgrowth, or you can prune into a shape. You know, it's too bushy to shape, so you can trim the overgrowth and then you can basically shape it up. It's interesting, I didn't even know that it overgrew, by the way. I did know that you could shape it. As you can see, because she has added the bird seed, the birds are actually coming. How cute is that? I love it, because then you get more nature sounds. And then obviously this side, let me put the walls up again so you can see how this side looks. This side, you can see I wanted a touch of realism, in the sense that, like, I wanted this, you know, to show that there's a lot of stuff going on inside the house. So we've got the outdoor bins, we've got the pipes, we've got the vents, we've got the rakes for the gardener, as well as hose pipes, obviously. We've got an oil can as well. We've even got a bench here and some outdoor sinks, just to kind of go with the entire atmosphere. And of course, we've got our basketball court. Obviously, because I love the color blue, my basketball court had to have the blue. And honestly, the fact that I was able to pull off it looking so, this is a very pretty and clean basketball court, and I absolutely love it. And it's got a mixture. I think the fencing is from City Living, because the basketball court is from City Living. Either the fencing is either from City Living or Get to Work, because it's not the prison fence, because the prison fence has got barbed wire at the top. And the benches, I think most of the stuff, honestly, from this are from City Living. The denizen in the pond are starving. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay, so let's pause for a second and sort out the denizen in the pond, because she's busy washing, isn't she? Yeah, and I love the fact that she can autonomously do stuff. That's one thing I do like. Let me cheat her needs because I'm going to be having her obviously do all kinds of things. And because the house is so big, things keep happening around the house and you have to keep tending to them. And again, this is the types of things that will keep your Sims busy. And that's what I like about doing stuff like this. Sock Walker. Okay, I know we've already got. Oh no, did they die? It seems like they did. Oh. Shall we put sharks? Let's put sharks in there. And then I think it needs natural cleaner. They were starving. That was quick though. You didn't even give me a chance to kind of feed them. That sucks. Never mind. As you can see, it's literally dirty. You can actually see that it's gotten dirty. So you see that when she puts the natural cleaner, you're actually going to see. I know I'm supposed to be giving a tour and now I'm giving details about the game itself. Oh my gosh, those trucks are massive. Please don't go in there. Oh, you see that? Nice and clean. And there's the snail. This is what I was talking about. The snail actually, you know, don't you dare jump in. Let me see if she actually finished washing. I think because it was an autonomous action, it made her stop. Add laundry additive. Add flowers. Okay. And unload and set laundry. Unload. Hang to on clothesline, of course. That's what we're looking for. And so with this one, I actually also added a bird bath and a bird feed there as well. What was that? Looks like I'm all done yet. These useless workers. What did you... And he's decided, bro. Have you seen, guys? Is this what we're doing now? Coming eyeliner and then... What is happening right now? This is the maid. Camden Grover. Camden. I hope you cleaned everywhere, Camden. This is wild. So who was this? This was the gardener. Or the gardener's long gone. Okay, if it was the gardener, that's fine. We didn't need any gardening because I thought that was the maid. Because we've, like, different employees keep arriving. Even if we've hired, like, one maid, they keep changing them. So it's hard to kind of, like, keep up. Anyways, let me press play. And so, where was I? From the basketball court, obviously, I added, like, a mini little garden. And what I did with this particular garden, actually, I made sure it had money trees. These are rich people, so why not? If they want to maintain the money trees. And I made sure, actually, I had my sim nurture them and grow them before I actually wanted to kind of like upload the build to the gallery. And then we've got some lilies here, if I'm not mistaken. These are lilies and some other plants, you know. And then we've also got some oversized, you know, watermelons, and I think it's a cabbage or lettuce and watermelons. And then we've got patches. So if you don't want your sim to be doing the gardening, you can just get them to activate Patchy, and Patchy can kind of help. And this is one of those games that your Sims, an outdoor game for Sims to kind of play. So it's really got that cottagey vibe whilst being entirely like cottage, nature, but also extremely elegant. So it's kind of like a great mix. And then again, I've got another rabbit stump here. As you can see, more rabbits and another a tree for the birds, you know. So and I think that is the tour all around. And now we are gonna officially go downstairs as planned. Go over to his house. No, we're giving a tour right now of our house. If you want, you can come over to our house though. So now downstairs, as I was trying to go here initially, right, that prompted me to kind of show you the front of the house first. As you can see, I just enjoyed, honestly, doing the landscaping. It is a lot of work, but it's worth it. Even doing this is all debug stuff, by the way, you guys. It's all debug, but in my mind, I knew what I wanted. And so when I eventually found this, I said, yes, perfect. Because it's got curves. It's got some parts that are curved. Obviously, you have to do a lot of maneuvering and moving, and I had to... She's gone and changed her hairstyle. I used a combination of tool mod and the old move objects in order to get them to kind of fit perfectly. So some of them are actually overlapping, but it was the only way I was able to obtain the design that I was going for. And so I am going to go downstairs. So I'm just going to show you how this works by using tab mode, because I feel like it's the best. Move forward. Oh, why is it moving so slowly? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna act like we're moving down the stairs, and this basically moves to the garage. And because we do have garage doors, but they're closed, right? And I wanted a semi-open garage door, so I ended up using the door, one of the big doors that came with the horse ranch pack. And so here we are. And so this literally takes us, I think, okay, it won't go any further, so we're gonna go page down. That way we can keep, there we go. And this takes us straight into the garage. And obviously you've seen the garage in the tour, so I'm gonna come out of that so that I can just show you from a different POV. And don't mind this, because obviously this is all stuff that's on the ground floor kind of showing up here. So bizarre, the way this game is. But again, how I ended up doing this is because I couldn't create, you know, a slope. That option is just not available. Pretend this is not stairs, pretend this is like a drive that kind of winds down. And then also, in addition to that, when they bring the car in order, obviously because of the spacing and everything, you've got this is one of those swivel, I don't know exactly their actual name, but I have seen a lot of properties with them, certain mansions, and I absolutely love this feature. Listen, anything that feels like a gadget to me, I tend to want to give it a try, and hence me loving this. So basically it goes down, and then when they bring the car in, it elevates and it spins around, and then you can take the car and go park it where it needs to be parked. So let me go have a look to what her problem is, where she's sensing dirt. Where are you? Okay, so what's going on with this outfit, girl? What on earth is happening here? So you did. And where is the dirt coming from? This is not the first time this area has... I'm gonna have to check to see. I might have to move stuff, because I feel like there is something. I feel like there's something. We've seen the outside of the property, and as I mentioned, I think I've given the tour of this area, so I don't know why we're back here. Why are we back here? I think because of her discomfort, right? So we were in the garage downstairs, weren't we? Okay, so let's go back to the garage then. Where is the garage? The garage is over here. So as you can see, the game is moving quite smoothly. I'm so happy. The garage, yeah. So I ended up using the doors from, I think it's the barn doors that I actually ended up using from the horse ranch pack. And I think this is also from one of the newer packs as well, because the newer packs did come with some massive big doors that you can kind of sort of mask as garage doors, I suppose. And also they do close and open. Some of them, this one is a readily open one. And don't mind the fact that this is looking a little bit green. It's because I'm using G-Shade, and I think I was trying to make the black a lot darker. And sometimes when you do that with black, it actually ends up looking somewhat green. That can happen, and so that's what you're seeing, lots of greens in place of where it should be black. So this is not how it's going to look in your game if you download this build. And this, I was actually really happy with this, because I always like to be able to create like a good cellar, attic, basement, you know, that looks like one, because they're never really well kept. They're always worn out, because that's where all the storage, all the stuff is kind of thrown in. And so this is where you see all the electrical grids are. In the water tanks as well, you can see the spiders. You can actually activate it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or the spider comes out every now and then, I'm not sure. As someone who's arachnophobic, this was a huge risk for me, even if it's in the game. And also, like, you know, some old fish that were caught before, that they didn't want to display because they kind of didn't like the look of them. As you can see, the wall is kind of like worn out, so I kind of did want to give it that vibe. And all kinds of little bits and pieces like fireworks, you know. So, and now some of the items that are actually in here, your Sims can still use them because they're actually functional items. For instance, we've got this, the nectar making machine. It's here. And so if you ever want your Sims to actually make some wine and stuff like that, you can actually put it somewhere in the rest of the property, and they can actually make wine. And then there's also this chest. This chest can actually be opened. And this one, I think, if I'm not mistaken, what can you do with this one? It's so rusted, it would, yeah. So these are actually all functional. Some of this stuff are functional, and these are presents as well that can be added by, is it collect reward? Huh? Positivity challenge, interesting. Yeah, well, there you have it. I did, like, literally, I had to scour through debug as well, the reward stuff and stuff like that, and that's how I was able to kind of find some unique items that can be placed in here, which kind of gives it the garage. Obviously stuff like even the old bicycle, but also these are actually, you know, proper no, this one's the decor. I think this might be the decor ones for the wine, or you can put wine inside, but I do have the nectar ones that are fully functional. Yeah, the functional ones are these ones. So hang on, let me do this because we're not getting anywhere. So I did put the functional ones here, and I also put the decor ones here, just to kind of give it like, this is where all the wine gets kind of stored. So this is technically the wine cellar. It's nothing special. I know some people would have put like a proper beautifully, nah, I don't drink wine, so I'm never fussed about wine, but I did want to kind of just give it that because of the simple fact that I also added that as well. So it gives your Sims a variety of things that they can actually do. One of the other items I was actually really excited about putting is the laundry room. I always love a good laundry room. This laundry room is actually the laundry room that I made for Discover University, and I just, because I did like the way I structured it, so I said, oh, I actually want the exact same type thing but slightly different, and that's pretty much what I did. So I left some of the structure the way it was in Discover University, and I just changed the colors. And I also added and removed certain elements because obviously that one was for university. This one is a home one. However, because the property is so large, I felt, okay, let's actually put in 4 washing machines and 4 dryers, because it is a massive household and there's a lot of work that has to be done at all times, you know. So that's why I decided to go with that, and also with the 3 sinks. And you know, it's an area where when they're working and they're waiting for laundry, they can actually sit down here and kind of wait for it. One of the other features that I actually enjoyed doing was this. This has allowed me to add, obviously it's not the outdoors, it's not outdoors on the ground floor. If it was outdoors on the ground floor, this entire sand would have actually been functional, which would have been absolutely amazing. But for some reason, when you're in the basement, even if you can't use terrain tools basically in the basement, because if I had used the terrain tool, the sand would have actually been functional. But you can't use terrain tool in the basement because it treats it just like any other floor, so you have to actually technically use tiles, and that's pretty much what I did. And if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much what I did, yeah. And I did want to have, because I didn't have a full sand pit type thing, and this is massive, there was no space upstairs, you know, on the ground floor. I thought, what better place than this indoor outdoors, sun outdoors that's indoors basically. That's the idea, to have like a whole natural park like, you know, looking thing. The good thing about this is, regardless of whatever weather is going on outside, your Sims can actually still be able to, like, for example, take your dog training. And this house, yes, I fashioned it around someone who owns a dog. However, if your Sim has got a cat, you can change things around so that it kind of suits the cat. So just replace the dog stuff with the cat stuff and then you're good. I added also extra toys like the Jenga for the kids, you know, an art set, a sans kit, even this Battlestar, because I think they do play this one as well. I also made an effort to add this. Actually, you can actually set up a picnic and actually eat, which is so much fun. And this, now this was tricky, because what you are seeing here, let me press play. What you are in fact seeing here is, I tilted, oh my gosh, thank you. I tilted the water fountain that goes across along the wall, and I made them all lie down flat because I did want to give that running water kind of feel. It's not exactly perfect, but it does the job that I needed to do. And then I just mixed with some bubble machines, because initially what I wanted to do was create like using the platform tool, you can take it down a bit, right? Which is what I did here. And then I was hoping it was going to allow me to fill it up with water, and that would have made life so much easier, but it refused for me to do that. So the next best thing that I could think of was to take the water fountain that goes on the wall. Size it down. So this fountain, I can't remember where it comes from, which pack, but I sized it all the way down using the tool mod, and I lay them all down. I lay them down first and then I side them fully down in order to get this. And then obviously I had to position the slip and slide, the water, all of this, had to position them properly so that the Sims can actually still use them. So I went in and I play tested everything all over again to make sure, and it works. So the Sim was able to lounge on these lounges in the kiddie pool and slip and slide as well. And then here, I think if I'm not mistaken, you just, yeah, this one you just view, you don't necessarily play in the water alongside it like the one upstairs. And so with this, actually, because these do come with the game, I think they come with base game or city living, can't remember. I just basically use the tiling system to create like a chessboard. So it's not functional. Sims can actually, these are lights, all of these are lights. And you can change the colors of the lights. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I changed this to like a darker color and this to more white so that it can kind of fit where they are. And I kind of just like the fact that they're there. It kind of adds to them and looks pretty. She's by the trees again, right? You see every single time. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. And then obviously this is a, oh my gosh, move away from them. And this is a what's a flower arrangement table. And obviously I added the bees box because they actually do help with your garden. If you know, if you bond well with them, you can actually get them to do stuff for you. And then we've got the meat, the full meat. And then this is for bugs. You can literally add insects. It's completely empty, so you can like kind of start it off. And this actually fascinates me because it actually, I thought I put it there to see what how it actually functions in live mode, right? And when I did end up testing it out, it was so cool because it actually does put our celebrations and it doesn't go too far. So it's perfectly safe in the outdoor basically. I also wanted to add these tree logs that are chairs because again, I wanted to add to the vibe. And of course, the skating rink. This, I didn't have to downsize it or anything like that. It changes according to seasons, which is perfect. And I figured, you know what, since the entire entertainment area in the basement is completely ostentatious, let me continue with the theme and, yeah, make sure. Did she do it? I didn't see it. Charlie has used the cannons recently. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see it. I hope you guys saw it. I'll probably see it when I'm doing the editing. So where's she going now? She's going to brush her teeth. Okay. And the bowling alley was literally one of my favorite features to make because I did use a reference. Yeah. of a real life property. So basically, some of the features in this house are a combination of two different mansions that I absolutely love. One of them is no longer in the market. One of them might still be in the market. But one of them actually has a bowling alley that's got like the gold and the blacks, and it looks so chocolatey vibe. And I said, oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Let me see how I can be able to recreate that. And this is the result that I ended up coming up with, and it looks absolutely elegant. And of course the games room, I mean, for me, I love an amazing ostentatious games room, and that's what I was going for. And I do tend to I've got this thing about wanting everything to be in twos, and so you know what, you get on my nerves. And so because I want everything, I've got this thing, I want everything to be in twos, hence you see everything is double. For some reason, it's just the way my brain is wired. Where is she? So you are down here. Don't you dare. You are down here. You're literally, the toilet is right there. Yeah, you could have literally done this yourself. Unbelievable. No, she doesn't need pills. I wanted to give her painkillers. Okay, so she's gonna hopefully sort herself out in a minute. And yeah, so I kind of like the fact that I was able to make it, it also like match the games room, match the bowling alley with the black and the gold feel. and it looks nice and clean and elegant. And again, like I mentioned with the twos, everything's in the twos. The foosball, the Jenga, I think is the only one that I didn't make two of, but as you can see, the chess tables, the arcades, even the kegs. And of course here as well, you can see two sofas, that one console, and of course one Lindsay speaker. And this, what does this do again? Oh yes, this is to listen in on people. I actually like that feature, so I thought, yeah, let me actually add it there. And then a trophy case as well, because obviously all the competitions, you know, that are played within the games, it's always good to kind of have people who are victors. And of course the karaoke machine, that was gonna be there without a shred of a doubt. And then other table games, because here you can do like you can play cards, and then with these ones obviously it's the games that came with the Love Struck pack. And then I also wanted to add a section where you can actually do speech giving, because you do have to practice a lot of speeches and stuff like that. So I thought I'll bring that here. And I also had the digital sketchpad as well as a camera. So all these things that are here are skill building. And I think I've got the darts. Is the darts here? Did I remove the darts? I decided to do away with darts. Oh, maybe I decided to do away with darts. I would have thought. I've got vending machines there, which my sim seems to be obsessed with, even if it always eats her money and then she gets angry. It's like, it's your money either way. So why are you getting so mad about? Ah, there we go. I put the darts here. I was gonna say, did I skip putting darts? I could have sworn I did. So the darts are here as well. And so I just wanted to look really, you know, again, elegant, but still have as many of the fun items that your sims would love to use as possible. And of course the dance floor, I love the fact that I was able to find matching dance floor items that kind of go with the entire aesthetic. Where is she? Okay, so what is dirty? This, you see, you literally can clean this up yourself. You're the one who causes this. Now she's trying to go and relax. Hang on. It's interesting how it's saying, can you see it's got the green stuff? Okay, I don't understand. Why is it, if there's something in there, why not allowing me to? Okay, let's see. Okay, so maybe I can do something with it now. Empty it, yes, please, because what the heck is going on here? We're good. Hopefully she'll start complaining about the place being uncomfortable, because I think that was part of the issue. I think if she continues, then I don't know what else is the problem here. Is there something else? What is happening? Hang on, let's check the pantry. This is one of the other features I enjoy doing, the pantry, because I do like, obviously, because I'm not a big fan of it, like clutter, but when I do find it enjoyable. Let me see, I'm just checking to see if there's something in here that stinks. No, there's nothing. So I don't know what it is that stinks, what the issue is. And when the maid comes, obviously they don't, I wish you could just go around and find whatever it is and clean it up, goodness sake. Anyways, as we were in the basement, we got sidetracked, kept getting sidetracked and using up more time than I need. I wanted to make this as quickly as possible, but obviously it's not easy because the place is absolutely massive. When it comes to the actual entertainment, like, you know, this kind of like a little speakeasy, I actually went back and forth quite a lot deciding what color this is going to be. And eventually when I saw this green and red tiles, I thought, oh, maybe I can make the whole theme match the tiling. And this is what you have. The red sofas, and it looks beautiful. This can literally be, I can make a standalone cafe or bar just with this room alone. That's what I like about it. And of course, the swimming pool area, I loved doing this for the simple reason that I was so excited that I was able to combine the outdoor and the indoor pool. And so obviously when they introduced finally glass walls, I was able to change, because initially I had loads of windows, so I was able to change to be like one smooth one, which is perfect. And look at this, it just looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I used the similar method as I did with the outdoor jacuzzi, where I made a sunken jacuzzi, and it works perfectly well because I didn't want it to be like at the top and just be an eyesore. And I feel like this is better. And obviously I created a whole fountain situation to kind of give it that extra vibe, and also sitting areas as well as loungers. And another part that I actually enjoyed was making these statues, putting them in here. So I literally made rooms. These are rooms. I put the statues, and then I put the fountain, I think, in the background because it has a light, and I changed the intensity of the light, hence them having different colors. That was what I was literally aiming for. As for the spa area, there's a lot going on. So we've got the saunas. There's literally two of them. Obviously in the tour video you don't get to see it because it was too tedious to try and come in here and try and see if we can film it. But you've got the foot massage area, you've got a sitting area, you've got drinks that you can actually be able to serve, as you can see, and obviously the massage tables as well. And the idea, again, these are rich, ostentatious people, so they want to be as prepared as they possibly can, and this is what grants them the opportunity to be able to do that, where they can access all kinds of amenities without having to leave their house. And then we've got exercise mats here, as well as meditation mats. So this is a whole zen area, and then this is just honestly a sitting area, like in between, you know, in between exercising and stretching and stuff like that. And of course we've got bathrooms and toilets. Now if you've got business or hobbies pack, you literally can turn into this entire building into a side business for your sim, you know, and just lock off certain areas so that the sims that visit don't access certain areas. So it would be ideal for that sort of thing. And of course we've got the gym. The gym, again, I like the fact that I was able to maintain blacks, reds and blues because they go perfectly well. I did downsize the climbing machines, but your sim is still able to use them. They're still fully functional. And again, I want it to be one of those gyms where, yes, we know it's a home gym, but I wanted it to give that vibe of having gone to the gym for extra motivation. So hence me putting the lockers and the sinks. As you can see, we've got 2 toilets and 2 showers to kind of go with that entire vibe, and it seems to be working so far. The other part, obviously, what have I left out? Okay, so we've had a look at the garage, we've had a look at the laundry room, we've had a look at all around here and everything that's here. There is literally one more place in the basement area, and that is the lower basement area, which is where the workers are. With the workers, again, I used my Discover University idea where I placed fridges and microwaves with the single beds in the bedroom, but obviously this is slightly smaller. But I was able to add a desk as well for each of them and a laptop for them to all use each. And so the workers, obviously, the idea is I don't want them wanting for anything. And so I want them to be comfortable, because if they're comfortable, they're likely to be more productive as well. And so they have a shared kitchen, shared dining area, as well as shared living room, and obviously shared bathrooms and toilets. But we've got enough to go around in the sense that I've got 2 showers and 2 bath showers. So if all 4 employees need to take a shower, whatever, all these are separate rooms, so they can actually be able to do that. I did the same thing with the toilets. The only thing is the sinks, when you're leaving the toilets, obviously on 2 of them are available out here. However, if all else fails, one of them can easily go to the bathroom area and actually access that sink instead, those sinks instead. And so these are the workers' quarters, as you can see. It's very cute. Spacious enough, I think, and comfortable living. Now that we are done with the basement area, as you can see, it's a massive area. The aim for this place was for it to honestly be just the hub, the entertainment hub, where they can have a lot of fun regardless of what the weather is. And it is not just for the adults in terms of like the bar and this adult games area, but also for the children to be able to enjoy themselves. Not to mention that the kids can also use the spa, so this is an all-around fun area for the entire family. But also I like the fact that I was able to provide a cozy little apartment, so to speak, for the workers. That way they are not in something that's derelict looking, that sort of thing. So I wanted them to actually live comfortably as well. And if you are using mods in this build, you can actually use Little Miss Sam's living services, so that way you can actually have your butler as well as your maids, and you can have multiple ones. Obviously, if you've got the vintage glamour, you can actually have the butler and you can have them live down there. But if you got Little Miss Sam's mod living service, you can actually have the maids who live in the property. That way they get to actually clean the house fully without them having to quit the day and charge you an extortionate amount of money. I'm just saying, like, they would rob you, daylight robbery. Anyways, back to the ground floor. So on the ground floor, she's decided to put back this horrid, I think it's the hair that she has. I'm very confused as to what is going on with this outfit. I mean, it's not showing the same thing, but the avatar is. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, up here, obviously, you got to see, for the most part, I think pretty much almost every detail. What is it that I think the pantry, I didn't get to showcase the pantry in the initial tour. And again, like I said, with the pantry, I made sure that boxes, it's got all the extra vacuum cleaners and all the bits and pieces that you kind of need. This stuff is ridiculous. The kitchen area with the kitchen, this kitchen, honestly, I loved, simply because I was able to implement a variety of things. One, we've got a relaxing area over there. We've got a diner type style sitting area, or breakfast nook, if you want to call it that. And then we've actually got a TV area where you can actually sit and watch some television. And this is actually a common thing from what I've seen with many big mansion type houses. And also, I wanted to create like a cozy little section where you can just sit and on the rocking chair and warm yourself up with the cozy fire right next to a grand clock, which is amazing. I do love the fact that I was able to implement the decorations box, so when you've got seasons and stuff like that, you can actually decorate the whole property with that without having to kind of search for it and build by, because that's one of the biggest struggles a lot of people have, is finding this decoration box when it's time for whatever festival is happening within that season. And then one of the things that I made sure that I did with a lot of the rooms, actually, let me go downstairs, I'll show you quickly what I'm talking about, is because the place is so massive, I made sure that certain areas are easily accessible from multiple directions. So for instance, when your Sims are coming to the basement, there are two entrances to the basement. One of them is through here, as you can see, through when you come through the foyer. The basement is actually accessible right through there. You can't see it, but also as you go through there, this takes you to the music room, but this actually also takes you to the kitchen. So if you're in the kitchen, you can easily come this way. If you're in the music room, you can easily come this way. If you are in the rooms that are on this side, you know, it's easily accessible. And obviously, if you're outside, there is an easy way through the garage, of course, as you saw earlier on. And when you are downstairs, if you look at the way the rooms are all interconnected in some way, shape, or form, I've got the massive corridor, which is the corridor that you appear in when you come from the ground floor near the kitchen and the foyer area. And this corridor takes you to multiple places, straight into the gym, straight into the garage, the door that leads straight into the laundry room, and then also straight into the bar area. And then obviously the bar area, this is the only one that kind of leads one direction, and it this one into the spa area, that is the swimming area. So the swimming area, which then leads into the spa area. So from the spa area, there's no actually any other way out of the spa area. You have to, did I add another fire exit? No, I didn't do that. So yeah, there's literally no other way out unless through the pool area. That's the only one that's kind of like locked in. Otherwise, even from this entertainment area, when you come through, it takes you straight to the rest of the gaming area. It takes you straight to the rest of the gaming area, which also takes you to the bowling alley section, and the bowling alley section takes you to the rest of the indoor outdoor area. But also when you come out of here through, there's another door which leads to the gym, and the gym again leads you straight into this area. But there's also another entryway which leads you to a mini corridor that leads to straight to the garage, but also straight to the laundry room. So that's kind of like a plus. And then obviously to the workers' quarters, there is only one way through. You have to go down the side steps when you come in, basically through, you know, where you drive past, basically, so to speak, quote unquote, drive past. And so I do try to make sure there's as much interconnection as possible, so that your sims don't have to travel a mile. And you know how long they take to just get from one place to another sometimes. So this gives them multiple options to get to certain rooms a lot quicker. And so as you enter into the foyer here, you've got like a sitting area. And I did enjoy being able to kind of like implement a very cozy but elegant sitting area. And then you've got a cloakroom where all the hats, shoes, or whatever, especially if it's a magic day, your shoes do not exceed past this line. And then obviously we've got the visitor's bathroom. I made sure of that. That's important. But also it happens to be the only toilet on this floor aside from the one in the guest house. So where is she this time? Okay, so she's not far from, is she going to? Okay. Although I would rather she used a tampon because that lasts longer, in my opinion. I don't know what her problem is. I'm gonna make her brush her teeth as well because she's doing too much. Oh, what's that? Oh, okay, clean. Oh, is it dirty? Okay, that's given her confidence. So hopefully she shouldn't be annoying. When is the period supposed to be ending? In 3 hours. Oh, thank goodness. So the discomfort, well, you can fix it. You're not going to replace it. You're going to fix it. Fix it and mop. I don't know why you're complaining when you've got the autonomy. You're the one who damaged it. Anyways, so when you come into the foyer, like I mentioned, you have the, let's go in. There we go. The visitor's toilet. Of course, I chose the color blue for it, which is absolutely perfect. Let me just go back to her really quickly to make sure that she hasn't left anything on the ground. Okay. So there's nothing. Where is the how you always have the spare parts and stuff? That's what I was checking on to make sure she gets rid of it. But it's nowhere to be seen, so we're good. We carry on as we were then. And what's discomfort is she at now? Filthy surroundings. You are literally mopping the floor right now as you, like, what is your problem? Let's see if she stops. Menstrual cycles ends in 3 hours. It should have been an hour already, no? Weird. That's so weird. That is actually weird. Anyway, oh wait, there's the stuff. You see, it was not visible before. So annoying. Scavenge for parts. Finish mopping and scavenge for parts, please. I don't even know why she decided to wear this horrendous outfit. It's not making any sense. And when did she become so hairy? My gosh, this water is not going, huh? Okay, whilst she's still doing that, we're going to keep a watchful eye. Because I don't want, once she scavenges for parts, that this... Oh, now she's going to do it just as well to leave. Okay. There we go. And then now she can throw this away. That's what I wanted. Because otherwise she would have been complaining of dirty surroundings. Like, what else is the problem? She lost the lottery. Girl, you're already a millionaire. Best of luck to Mo. Oh. Mo, just Mo with exclamation point. That is hilarious. So anyways, this is too funny. I can't deal with this. When we are in the foyer, oh my gosh, are we ever going to leave the foyer? Let us come on, get past the foyer. When you leave the foyer, the way I designed it is, again, I want it to be a very elegant foyer. It's got the waterfalls there. It's got beautiful art. And I didn't want to do too much in terms of things I put on the ground. I had the butler statues on there, and then you'll find that on the right hand side you've got the office, and the office leads to a study, and the study leads to a library, and the library, if you pay close attention, there are actually a couple of hidden doors there that look just like bookshelves that will put you straight into here. Now here's the thing, when you download this build, the money is actually not, the vault is not going to have any money in it, so your sim actually has to have a lot of money, and then when you click on the vault, it gives you the option to add the money to it. And then from the list of amount, it actually gives you an option to choose the amount of money. Wait, why isn't it? Why isn't it allowing me to? There we go. I was going to say, like, I don't understand. So there was just a delay. So let's say, for example, I'm going to add 300,000. because she's got it at the end of the day. 1,000 there. And obviously, if your sim is a multi-millionaire, there's going to be a lot more money. Like, you're going to see like gold bars and things like that. You can literally add millions upon millions in here, where you have so much money that your sim can actually sleep in the money, can play with the money, use the money as a phone, do all kinds of crazy stuff with said money, which is hilarious. And so that's where the secret door is, by the library. The idea is people just see bookshelves and they won't suspect that there's actually a vault behind there. So, I was gonna say, there we go. See that? Have you locked yourself in? Okay, I don't know why she locked herself. Can she come out? Go here. Why is she just walking in like that? That is hilarious. Why is the door not opening? I mean, you can lock it and everything, which is amazing. You see, napping money, play with money, take money from vault, add money to vault, close and lock. So that is an option. Actually, this is the type of thing maybe it should be closed, because I don't think we've had Robin Banks come here yet. And let me not speak too soon. And so, from the library, you can actually come out, even if you can come through from the study, you can also come out straight into the corridor. And then when you come out of the corridor, you can actually go straight into the drawing room, where you've got a grand piano, a television, a really brown nature, again, you know, relaxing vibe. And through from the drawing room, you can come back out the corridor, obviously, but you can also go straight into the main formal dining area, which basically sits, as you can see, quite a lot of people. This is I think a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah, 14 people. A total of 14 people can actually sit here. And again, I kept this one fairly simple. I added a couple of chairs obviously on the side, but also added a bar if ever in need. And of course, the same dining room comes from the drawing room, but it also comes through straight into the kitchen area, where you have all the amenities, obviously the TV area and other bits and pieces. It just makes it easy. And also when you cook, obviously you want to be able to have easy access to the main dining area, to be able to place the food. You know what I mean? The last thing you want is to walk like a million miles just to try and place the food on the table. And then this kitchen actually also leads, not only does it have obviously access to the outside, like the dining doesn't, but the drawing room does. It actually has an exit to the outside, and so does the kitchen. But through the kitchen, there's actually a door that also leads to another room, which is the music room. This is strictly the music room. And you can also access the music room via this mini corridor that comes from the foyer. So there are 2 ways to get to the music room. And as you can see, the music room has got all the instruments available, but it also happens to be the creative room. So you can make your music there, listen to music from the old school jukebox, and also record videos. So I actually took one of the green screens from Get to Work and I sized it down, and that's how I was able to place it. And then through there, as you can see, you've got a door that's kind of like, looks like it's soundproof, and that's because it leads to the cinema. And again, this is another one I enjoyed because I do love a good cinema room in a house. And so I went with the whole black and gold, which came out honestly amazing. I put a popcorn machine and a one of them is a popcorn machine, another I think it's a sweet maker, I can't fully remember, as well as a globe, which is technically a bar, because obviously the way I designed it, I was not able to add the standalone, you know, full bar. And I thought, you know what, it is just a cinema room at the end of the day, so let's try and see if we can be able to make the bar something that's still accessible. Oh, she's right here. Accessible, you know, but still it will add to the rest of the cinema room. So that's kind of like what I was, Emmett, what? Congratulations. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. And is there any other area that I've left out? We've gone all around, right? All the way to the cinema room. Yes. And obviously, like I mentioned, the foyer is just got loads of art around it, seating areas, just nice and elegant, but homey at the same time. And so if we go all the way upstairs, this guy better have done some work. If we go upstairs, I enjoyed this because there's so many different elements about each room. There is some fixing that I probably need to do with the master suite, because my sim can come up here, but for some reason my sim struggles to get back out, which is strange, because if they're able to come up the same way, they should be able to come back down. So what I might actually do is, on this side, is I might put a stair that kind of hopefully will allow for her to come, for any sim to come up and down. So that's something to consider once you download this build if your sim is struggling, because funny enough, on this side, the sim, I think they're able to climb, but they're not able to come down again. It's just so bizarre, because it should function, if to be told. But this is the master suite, and I manually made this canopy bed because I was going for a particular look. And then obviously you've got a sitting area with a fireplace, and another that kind of overlooks the landscaping outside. And obviously we've got the romantic section if this is a couple, and we've got a massive walk-in wardrobe, as well as a his and hers, complete his and hers bathroom. Like, everything is completely his and hers. And so next door to the parents' room, which by the way they share the balcony with the kids' room, is the kids' room, which obviously having the same balcony as the parents means the parents can easily get to, if there's any problems, they can actually easily get to the kids' bedroom. Now this bedroom is technically in a couple of stages where you can easily interchange things. So I put the crib just in case they have a newborn, but I also put the child bed, which can easily be replaced with the toddler bed if need be, if the child hasn't grown up yet. But I've put all the amenities, and I love the fact that I created this little hidden section for it. I kind of just wanted that. It's almost like a little hidden section, but it allows for your sim to feel like they're having an adventure and that they are living in their own little cottage, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of the idea of this room, and where the designs have kind of been placed in a variety of different places that seem like they don't make sense, but it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for functionality. So moving right along, we've got where is that one? Yeah, the spare room. This spare room, again, I absolutely enjoy the color schemes, the combination of the gold and the peaches and the greenish aqua. It works, and I was able to adapt the same thing in the bathroom, where I have, using platforms, I was able to put a bathtub, a toilet, and a shower, as well as other amenities that will be utilized. But also, just like every other room that you come across, it's got an ensuite. So I made it, it's got an ensuite to use the vanity case and just try out jewelry, etc., that sort of thing. So that's kind of the aim for that. The next one, obviously, we're going to go through, I'm trying to go through this quite quickly, is the teenage room. Again, this is fashioned around a girl, so you're free to actually change this to whatever color that you feel suits you. But yeah, again, very similar to the other visitor's bathroom. It's got like its own shower. The room's got its own shower, bathtub, as well as a sink, which works perfectly fine. And in the teen room, I actually made it so that you don't only have the main bed, you actually also have the bunk bed, and you have the computer underneath it. It's kind of so that if you've got two teenagers or one is slightly older, they can actually still be able to share. And the next is one of my creative hubs. This was an unexpected creation, but I did want to have a space that was specifically for animals, and so I created a little mini, it's almost like a little mini house, where the house it's like a little mini house that can house your cats and dogs, basically. But on the other side, you've got like a lot of artwork, and I actually put the mural creator and I put those bits on the floor to kind of give it that realism. But your sims, as you can see, both of them I think have been painted by her, which is hilarious. But you can go ahead and kind of like do paintings, sell them, whatever it is that you, obviously if you're a multi-millionaire able to move your sim into this house, your sim won't be starving for anything. Clearly they know how to make their money. Other elements I think are things like the rodent. I did fill up the tank, the fish tank, but the rodent, you have to make sure that you feed it all the time, otherwise it meets its demise, and then you have to buy a new one if they'll let you. Where was I? So we've done the master suite, we've done the children's bedroom, and now we are in the creative space where you can literally do some knitting, painting, chillaxing, which I think that's how it should be. But yeah, have an area where you can just be creative and have it be cathartic at the same time. Obviously, there's another room on this floor, and this one I call the green room. The green room is basically something I created a while ago that I did want it to just exude greenness, and so yeah, this is the result of it, to be honest. And this is a built-in fish tank that I created, literally using walls, and it works perfectly fine. And I just so happened to obviously add the baby Yoda, and it looks it suits perfectly for this entire brand. I absolutely love it. Any other area that I have missed out? So I have mentioned the art area, the teen room, the adult room, the child's room, and then there's a spare room, and that is pretty much everything. This property is actually worth over 2 million simoleons, so it is expensive. But I did take a lot of precautions to make sure that even as your sim has accumulated high bills, things like adding the solar panels can kind of help. And I made sure the solar panels actually match the color of the roofing because I didn't want them to stand out like a sore thumb. And so this was the result of it. And with this, I had to create this because technically the fish tank is a room. And if I closed it off, I wouldn't be able to, what did I do? I can't remember what I did in order to kind of fill it up with water, but I did it like a trick. And so, yeah, I couldn't close it off. Otherwise, it would, I think, be removed. So I had to give it like a sealing of sorts. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but yeah, I had to do a MacGyver to kind of get it to work in the way that I wanted it to work, basically. And ladies and gentlemen, that kind of brings me to the end of this house tour. It is available in the gallery. If you're interested in downloading it, just go and find my user ID EPCreativeMedia and look for the exquisite family mansion, and you'll be able to find it. And in addition to that, when you download, please make sure that you activate your cheats with testing cheats true, but also activate bb.moveObjects on, bb.show live edit objects, as well as bb.show hidden objects. Hidden objects actually brings about the bb.show live edit object brings about the debug items. If anyone has ever wondered about that, is what brings about the debugger items. But also show live edit objects brings about things that you will find normally in public areas in the Sims in the game, and you can actually access them that way. So that's what that one actually does. So show live edit objects, show hidden objects, bb.moveObjects on, and obviously activate the cheats in order to do that, and you should be able to download this entire build without a glitch. Also, just be reminded, I did use quite a lot of packs in this build, pretty much almost every single pack, so be mindful of that. No, I don't want to go anywhere. Be mindful of that, in the sense that in order to actually get the build to look exactly like this and have all the good features, because I purposely implemented quite a lot of features because I wanted them to be functional. I wanted them to function a certain way within the game. And so if you are missing any of the packs, especially the ones that do affect the functional items, just be reminded that it's not going to look the same because it's going to have to remove certain things and replace some things. And some things you might not be able to find replacements, and it just deletes them forever. So that's something to bear in mind. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you once again for 200 subscribers. I am honestly so grateful. This is technically a hobby for me, and so, but to have a channel that's kind of just growing because people enjoy my videos, it does mean the absolute world to me. It means a lot that people are actually able to enjoy my content. Otherwise, guys, I will have to love you and leave you. I wish you all the blessings that God has to give. From myself and my test sim, who I have to figure out what on earth is her damage. For myself and my sim, it's take care and goodbye.